I'm talking about plastic surgery. Let's get into it. I want to talk about it. I want to talk about it. What the fuck is going on, man? What the fuck is going on?
I think it was right after I hosted the Oscars. We went to dinner.
Yes.
And we talked about you hosting the Oscars. That it was a dream of yours. You've always wanted to host the Oscars.
I'm gonna repeat that. Rihanna was kicked off of Instagram for excessive nudity. What the f? Listen, Rihanna being banned from Instagram is like banning a Waffle House from basically having videos on World Star Hip Hop. It will be a stupid sight.
Kevin Hart is not just a stand-up legend or the face of blockbuster comedies. He's a cultural force who's built a brand around perseverance, positivity, and connection. From humble beginnings, Kevin rose to become one of the most recognized figures in entertainment. His story isn't just about laughter. It's about overcoming obstacles and proving critics wrong at every turn. But resilience alone doesn't shield anyone from controversy, especially in today's culture wars. Kevin Hart's name has become synonymous with a pivotal moment in Hollywood, a moment when the forces of woke culture collided with his unwavering authenticity.
I mean, Kevin Hart was fired from the Oscars because of some offensive tweets. Hello? Lucky for me, the Hollywood foreign press can barely speak English.
Today, we'll delve into how Kevin Hart stood his ground, exposing the hypocrisy of woke Hollywood while maintaining his dignity and principles. Let's start at the beginning of this saga, and then break down how Kevin systematically dismantled the mechanisms of cancel culture while staying true to who he is.
Nelly, Robin Thicke, I want to shout out Tiffany Haddish, Chelsea Handler, Chris Rock, Jerry Seinfeld, Dave Chappelle, Keith Robinson, the Plastic Cup Boys. They're all graced the stage tonight. And the reason why I start off here before I get into like the real side of my speech is, you know, success is nothing without the people that really know you and that can understand like what you've been through.
In 2018, Kevin Hart achieved what many entertainers only dream of, an invitation to host the Oscars. For Kevin, this was more than just a gig. It was a milestone. As an African-American comedian, he was poised to join a very short list of individuals who had ever held this honor.
I think it was right after I hosted the Oscars. We went to dinner.
Yes.
And we talked about you hosting the Oscars. That it was a dream of yours. You've always wanted to host the Oscars. I said you should host the Oscars. Then you get asked to, I mean, it must have been amazing when they asked you to host this year.
Unreal. You know, there's a lot of goals that I have on my board. I got a vision board, and on that vision board is so many things that I want to do that I'll check off as they get done. And Oscars was up there. Oscars was one of the highest of highs simply because there hasn't been a lot of African-American comedians that have been able to do it.
However, just as Kevin's excitement reached its peak, an old skeleton was dragged out of his closet. Tweets from nearly a decade earlier surfaced, and the online outrage machine sprang into action. The tweets, which some interpreted as offensive to the LGBTQ+ community, became the focal point of a controversy that would overshadow his career achievement.
Oscars was one of the highest of highs simply because there hasn't been a lot of African-American comedians that have been able to do it. I would have been the fourth. So to get the moment, celebrate the moment, oh my God, I can't believe it's happened. And then the next morning, after a day full of congratulations and celebrations, I'm hit with an onslaught on social media of my past coming back up again. Literally the next morning.
The timing was no coincidence. While Kevin celebrated, detractors scoured through his past, hunting for anything that could bring him down. Within hours, the narrative shifted from Kevin's groundbreaking achievement to a public trial over his old jokes.
When it happened, you know, my first thought is I'm gonna ignore it. I'm gonna ignore it because it's 10 years old. This is stuff I've addressed. I've talked about this. This isn't new. I've addressed it. I've apologized for it. I'm not gonna pay it any mind. Because when you feed into that stuff, you only add more fuel to the fire.
Right.
I'm not gonna do. I'm gonna leave it alone.
What sets Kevin Hart apart is his refusal to play by the rules of the outrage game. For years, he had avoided divisive topics in his comedy. Unlike contemporaries like Dave Chappelle or Ricky Gervais, Kevin steered clear of controversy, focusing instead on universal themes that brought people together. Yet, despite his clean record and positive reputation, the woke mob came for him. Why? Because for them, context and intent don't matter. Only the opportunity to shame and dismantle someone's success. Kevin's refusal to bow immediately added fuel to the fire. The media ran with misleading headlines like, "Kevin Hart refuses to apologize for homophobic tweets," conveniently omitting the fact that he had apologized multiple times in the past. One of the most frustrating aspects of this ordeal for Kevin was the crowd's refusal to acknowledge his growth. Over the years, Kevin has demonstrated time and again that he is a different person who made those jokes.
The headlines are, Kevin Hart refuses to apologize for homophobic tweets from the past. The word again was left out. Everybody took those headlines and started to run with it. So now, the slander on my name is all homophobia. Now I'm a little upset. I'm a little upset because I know who I am.
"I'm not the immature comedian I was a decade ago," he explained, emphasizing that he had evolved both personally and professionally. Yet, his apologies, no matter how sincere, fell on deaf ears. The crowd wasn't interested in forgiveness. They wanted him to cringe.
I don't want to get too emotional, but my emotions simply come from a format of, I'm not supposed to be here. So when you get here, and you're an example that you can be here, you're just fucking what the dream is about.
As if the public backlash wasn't enough, the Academy of Motion Picture Arts and Sciences issued Kevin an ultimatum: apologize again or step down as host. The demand was an insult to Kevin's integrity. He had already apologized, grown, and moved on. Why should he apologize again? Just to appease a vocal minority?
You can't buy support. You can't fake that. So tonight is special, not just because of the award, but it's because of the support. So I want to say before I say anything else, Regina, it means so much to see the people that I will show up for me. It's value.
"I didn't want the night to be about me," Kevin later explained. His decision wasn't just about standing up for himself. It was about preserving the integrity of the event and not allowing his presence to overshadow the accomplishments of others.
I've taken 10 years to put my apology to work. I've yet to go back to that version of the immature comedian that once was. I've moved on. I'm a grown man. I'm cultured. I'm manufactured. I'm a guy that understands now. I look at life through a different lens, and because of that, I live it a different way. So now, I'm kind of upset because these 10 years are just being ignored. They're being brushed past.
Kevin's decision didn't end the controversy. If anything, it escalated it. Media outlets latched onto the story, framing Kevin as defiant and unrepentant. The headlines twisted his words, turning a principled stand into an act of defiance against accountability.
This is such a strange situation because the Academy hired Kevin Hart, and then, of course, 2 days later, he quit. The Academy has not filled the job. It's been a month now, and the Academy has not filled the job.
Isn't that remarkable?
Normally, this is a really exciting job, one of the best jobs in Hollywood. You get to host the biggest night of the year. Well, lately, there's been fewer people that actually want the job. It's tireless. You get a lot of critics. Kevin Hart took the job. He said it was his dream come true. And it is so strange that within a course of 2 days, he quit amid this online outcry about past homophobic tweets and comments. And look, what he had said in the past was very ugly. And I think he's still in some ways sounding like he's the victim a little bit, blaming people for going through his old tweets, a little bit unhappy with that. But I do think he's trying to show an evolution here. And there's clearly a pathway for him to go back to the Oscars.
But Kevin wasn't about to let the media control the narrative. He took to social media, interviews, and his platforms to clarify his position, making it clear that he had nothing more to prove.
Hart bowed out 1 month ago after past homophobic comments on Twitter and in his comedy act resurfaced. But during an interview on her show, this is what Ellen DeGeneres said.
I called the Academy today because I really want you to host the Oscars. I think that I was so excited when I heard that they asked you. I said, Kevin's on. I have no idea if he wants to come back and host, but what are your thoughts? And they were like, oh my God, we want him to host. We feel like that maybe he misunderstood or it was handled wrong, or maybe we said the wrong thing, but we want him to host.
What made Kevin's response so impactful was his ability to expose the hypocrisy at the heart of woke culture. He pointed out how his past apologies and decade-long growth were ignored, proving that the outrage wasn't about accountability, but control.
Kevin Hart has stepped down from hosting this year's Oscars. He put out a statement on Twitter tonight saying, I have made the choice to step down from hosting this year's Oscars. This is because I do not want to be a distraction on a night that should be celebrated by so many amazing, talented artists. I sincerely apologize to the LGBT community for my insensitive words from my past. I am sorry that I hurt people. I am evolving and I want to continue to do so. My goal is to bring people together, not tear us apart. Much love and appreciation to the Academy, and I hope we can meet again.
In a broader sense, Kevin's experience highlighted a troubling trend in Hollywood and beyond, one where individuals are judged not by who they are today, but by their worst moments, no matter how far in the past.
Email said, Kev, it's time for you to get yours. I open up the email, it's 2 pictures in the email. One picture was a real little man standing next to a doctor. He was angry. Next picture, that same little man was taller than the doctor. He was giving a thumbs up. Bottom of the email said, Kev, it's time for you to get yours.
Kevin Hart's journey through the storm of cancel culture isn't just a story about one man standing his ground. It's a testament to the power of authenticity and resilience in the face of adversity. Despite the backlash, Kevin has continued to thrive, proving that staying true to oneself is the ultimate form of success.
I call him, yo, I got your email. What the fuck are you talking about? What are you trying to say? I said, what do you mean, what am I trying to say? I said exactly what I said. What is this? What are you trying to say? He said, they're giving out height. Go get you some.
Kevin Hart's saga is more than just a clash with cancel culture. It's a mirror reflecting the flaws of the woke movement. While the intention behind social accountability is noble, the execution often falls short, leaving no room for growth, forgiveness, or nuance.
Yeah. And this is really shocking news,
glasses,
actually.
Please, I would really appreciate it.
You know, I have not seen this happen in the history of the Oscars. A host was announced just 2 days ago, and now that host is saying, sorry, I don't want to be a part of this. If you don't want me, I'm leaving. You know, it was actually kind of hard for the Academy of Motion Picture Arts and Sciences to find a host for the Oscars this year. There was a lot of buzz in the entertainment world about how nobody wanted to host the Oscars anymore. It's a no-win job.
Remember to leave a like and subscribe to our channel if you found this content valuable. See you in the next video.